Yes, let's go. Throw the hook with the best of them. King Kong beat your chest, should've slept on you. What's next? The check drip dip, run the neck, check hook by the bookfish hook off the deck. ShowBizz. Throw the hook, shouldn't have slept on you.
What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. All right, man, look at who we have here. Junior lightweight WBO champion, Jamel Herring. What's going on with you, brother?
Everything is good, man. I can't complain. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to have to start off just like this, Jamel. Okay, number one, you're looking good. All right, you one of those guys who just stay in shape, bro. So that's, yeah. So I'm going to have to start off with you like this, Jamel. Listen. I cannot believe we're finally here. You against Carl Frampton, February 27th, is one of the biggest fights to me right now. Now, how did you keep that hunger? A lot of things happened, the pandemic, although he called you out back in 2000. He called you out back in 2019. Now, are you still hungry now? You still want that fight the way you wanted in 2019?
Oh yeah, definitely, because that's a huge name to have on my resume at the end of the day. And it's probably one of the biggest names on my resume. So that's what keeps that hungry. When you have those big fights, because I mean, I don't care who you're talking to, any fighter out there will tell you they want to, at the end of the day, they want to have that resume where people will recognize those huge names on the resume, especially when you have those victories over those individuals as well. So yeah, I 2019, 2020, 2020, I kept that hunger.
Yeah, but how did we get here, man? Why did it? Okay, I know the pandemic, and I think you contracted the virus at some point.
Right.
I mean, how long was that road? I mean, I know Tommy, and you had that last fight where you got busted up with, I mean, the guy came in with his head like as if he was a street fighter. Like you dropped him. I mean, how did you come up, get over all those obstacles to get to this fight?
Man, I think like you pointed out, that's probably the hardest thing for any fighter is to actually keep that hunger for that long of a period. But after the last fight, I just had to go home and just rest and enjoy life again, and then just enjoy time with my family. And then as you know, when you're sitting home and you start seeing everything going on, you're like, man, you know what? I'm getting that itch again. I'm getting that itch. So, yeah, I had to just like say just step back and just look on it from the outside on in, and then was like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready to come back now. I'm ready to come back, and I'm ready for that fight in particular.
Now, here's the thing with you. I mean, you are a guy, and we're going to talk about it. I mean, honestly, I think you are a national treasure. I think you are a hero. It's not even me thinking you're a hero. You are a hero. And with all those things that you are, everything you've done, I mean, your life as a fighter, and we'll talk about that a bit. But I think you should be one of those guys that just a main superstar, at least in the States, because of everything that you've given to us. I want to thank you, first of all, brother. I want to thank you so much. Yeah, for serving everything. But before we get into that, with you, just your grit and your grind, for somebody like that to be calling you out, I know that was music to your ears. How did you get to a point where you have Carl Frampton wanting you? I mean, you are one of those guys that was wanting them. So how do you get to that point?
That's a great feeling, because at one point in time, there's people, no one was calling for me. No one was asking about me. No one was speaking about me. So when you have a guy who's a two divisional world champion and he wants to make a huge fight with you, that says a lot about yourself and how far you've come along in this business. So yeah, for me, I didn't, some people, as you see, some fighters, they take it as an insult. Me, I was excited. You see me, I jumped in the ring. I jumped in the ring, suited up, like, hey, let's get happen as soon as possible. So, but at the same time, from where I've been at to now, I've stayed the same person. I've never let ego or anything get to my head, because like I said, I come from a background where I was brought up, to believe that, what God give, God can take, from you as well. So, so every day, just being able to do what you love is a blessing, because you never know, tomorrow it could be gone in a blink of an eye. So that's why I always remain the same, not just around, how I treat the sport, but just people that I came up with. Like everybody who knows me, I can go home and they'll still expect the same Jamel. Like, I haven't changed my character or anything like that. And I love that. Like, I it's to the point, honestly, sometimes I hate being called champ all the time. Like, somebody you just call me by my name, you know what I mean? Because I'm still that same character, that same dude. You know, I like to joke around and have fun, and that's just me. I don't want people to keep placing like labels on who. No, I'm the same guy from
well to that point, I was reading Mike Tyson's Undisputed. I'm happy you said that. And when I was reading his Undisputed Truth, his book, I mean, Mike Tyson had like a missing piece in his hair for a certain point. That was from the pressure, the stress of being a champion. This guy was a round-away dude. He knows himself as a round-away. Even he calls himself a street character. Look, man, I'm Mike Tyson, not the champ. And that was starting to weigh on him. So I'm happy you said that a bit, where it's like, look, this is how I keep myself level. This is how I exist every day. Everybody calling you the champ and stuff, all of a sudden, it's like, man, I'm pretty sure, just like you're saying, and it rings some truth with Mike Tyson, that could have a certain level of pressure within itself.
I mean, it's an honor. It is an honor, but like, I don't want people to think that like I go by just that monarch. Like, no, I'm like, yes, I'm a champion and I'm grateful, to be where I'm at. But at the same time, you can still approach me as just regular Jamel. That's why if you look at it, I'm always talking with people. I never had that diva mindset where I'm better than people. But I look at it like this: you and I breathe the same air, so.
Right.
You're human, I'm human at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what I do for a living or if you see me on TV and things like that. No, I'm still just a regular, ordinary guy. And I let you know right now, my wife, she'll put me in my place any day of the week. Like, when I come home, hey, listen, when I come home, ain't none of that world champion. Hey, like, hey, I married Jamel Herring, and that's it. Like,
right.
And to my kids, it's just that, you know what I mean? I'm just a father.
Well, look, that's a beautiful thing, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to challenge you on you being a regular guy, because if you guys don't know, I mean, you went from being amateur fighter to serving, and I'm talking about fighter to serving nothing, no disrespect for sure to the champions like Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano, who also served and were fighters as well. Tyson Bell for them. But you were a gunman. You went to Iraq, then you come back. You represent us in the Olympics in 2012, and I think you go back and serve again. I mean, dude, that's not a regular life. That's the life. That's a fight.
Crazy. I actually served the 2 tours before the Olympics, but like, it's like, I was doing everything, like, but at the same time, I don't know, something in my mind just kept me level. Like, anything to this day now, I'm still like in shock and awe of like how far I came. You know what I mean? It's not so like I'm just that's how grateful I am of where I'm at. I was like, man, like, I really like the same thing you said. Like, man, I've been through this, I've done this. I'm a champion now, and I'm still striving to do other great things and just in life, because you have people, you're in a position now where you have kids and everybody who look up to you, even adults, that admire you. So it's like, you want to set a great example, but you don't want to never just plateau. You want to keep showing that there's more out there in life. Like, it doesn't just end here. There's more I can still achieve as life goes on.
Well, let me celebrate you for you then, because let me hold on the title, because like I said, somebody like you should be recognized as definitely one of our major fighters, top superstars. It's actually definitely for what you've done for us as far as serving and representing us in our nation, United States. But I want to say this also, that I think people are just somehow ignoring. I don't know. You are the WBO champion.
Right.
You are the champion, and you're going to now. Carl Frampton, he calls you out. Now he's trying to make history, right? 3 division title, right? For Ireland. Yeah. And you're going to London for. Do I have this right?
Yep.
Now you're asked the champ. Now look, you're talking about guys like the great Muhammad Ali, who traveled to the UK as champion to fight Henry Cooper, fight Brian London. You're talking about people like Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest ever. He was champion and he traveled to the UK to fight Randy Turpin. That's what you're doing. People today as champion, they sit back and they say, no, you got to come to me.
Yeah.
You are going over there.
Right.
That's something to celebrate as far as being a fighter. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, you see it now. Some people think it's crazy, but like I believe if you believe in your abilities and what you can do, that that's nothing. And like I said, I take the title world champion very seriously. Like that means I should be able to travel anywhere in the world and defend my title where the people want to see the fight at. And I look at, like I said, those names you mentioned. I look at it. I have a throwback mentality. Back in the day, you had fight. The big names even traveling over Mexico, Canada, wherever. To go make the fight. But
right,
like I'm not. That's what I tell you. Like you can see it in my face. I'm not really worried about where the fight's at. I'm just happy that I have this fight on the table, and I'm just ready to go to work.
You're not worried about where the fight's at, brother?
No. I mean, it's like you pointed out though. I done been deployed in the middle of a desert. Like so, if I can go somewhere to do what I love for a living, and and enjoy it. Why should I, and after I've been through that, why should I worry about where the fight's at? Like I said, I don't survive two deployments in Iraq. I was in Fallujah where it was really hot. It was really crazy back in 2005. And like, here we are now. So I'm not, like I said, the fight for me, like boxing is what I love. Like I said, I'm just grateful to be doing what I love. And I'll go wherever they need me to go.
Now, wow. Now that's an attitude right there. I love that attitude. Now, here's the thing, and that's admirable too. I hope it resonates. But this is your second time, or I'm not sure if this is your second time. I just know you were in London before in 2012 in the Olympics. Now, I have to dive into that a little bit because that year in the Olympics, you want to talk about the boxing athletes that came out, not just for our nation. I'm not just Clarissa Shields and Errol Spence and who else? Jose Ramirez and Joseph Diaz. Who else did we have? Michael Hunter,
Errol Spence, Marcus Brown, Rashid Warren, Terrell Boucher, Marlene Esparza. I can name more.
Dude, Dominic Brazil, and then you had guys.
I can name them all.
And then the rest of the world, Lomachenko, I think he won in 2012, and Katie Taylor and Alexander Usyk and Anthony Johnson. I mean,
Josh Taylor came out of there as well, and
Luke Campbell. Look, dude, you guys came out of 2012 and just became champions running this thing.
Right.
Now, how did that build you when you talk about iron sharpens iron, being there with Errol Spence and those guys? I'm pretty sure you mixed it up with those guys. How did that build you to fight on that level, just sparring and just practicing?
It was actually great to be around those individuals, especially being one of the team captains, because Rashid Warren was another team captain. Queen Underwood was also our other captain as well. But just to be around, athletes, not only great in what they do, but just their personalities, just to get to know who they are outside of the ring. And like people also been in London in 2011. That's why I met Josh Taylor. That's how we became great friends, because we actually fought. We actually fought each other, and it's actually, the fight's still on YouTube. So we had me and Josh had a real good fight back in London for the test event. It was an Olympic test event. But just to be witnessing those individuals, not just in America but from all over, was just a blessing. And that's how I would say that boxing is like a small fraternity, because you never know who you'll come across, and then you always get to see these athletes go from amateur level to world champions, like you mentioned, just dominating the game. And it's a great thing, and it's probably another reason why I still stay in tune with the amateur system now, because you never know which kid might be the next big best great thing out there.
Yeah, which one of your friends, and I want to say this about you. I did look around, I did look you up, I did look at a few videos, and I've noticed you're a likable guy. You're a likable guy by people like Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol the True Spence. You're a likable guy for guys that can be your future rival. Who knows? Shakur Stevenson, the guys like that. Jojo Diaz is there. Burchell is there. I mean, what I'm saying to you is you are right in the middle of just anything going on, especially as a WBO champion, because don't forget, Terrence Bud Crawford, he moved up and he was able to challenge Jeff Horn as a WBO champ immediately. Alexander Usyk moved up, mandatory for Anthony A.J. Joshua. You as a WBO champion, if you move up, what's that? Teofimo Lopez, immediate. What is that? Right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
I'm in it. Like I say, I'm definitely in a great position as a champion, a WBO champion. Like you mentioned, other great guys out there, like Shakur Stevens. He's probably one of the, I think, in my opinion, he's going to be one of the best fighters in the near future. You know,
Yeah.
he has the hunger. Shakur is always working. He's always like he's always thinking boxing. I usually I stay in tune with boxing, but like if you know Shakur, everything is boxing with Shakur. But I respect it because he takes his craft very seriously, and all he wants to do is just prove and be the best that he could possibly be. So you got guys like that. Of course, my teammate Jojo Diaz is also in the same weight division, but we had that mutual respect, and that's a big fight that people wanted to make. We both have no issue making that fight.
What?
Yeah, we spoke. We actually
Wait, hold on, wait, no. Usually friends like that are trying to stay away from each other. You guys are saying, hey, look, we have no problem fighting each other.
Oh yeah, and that's just the competitive nature of boxing. That's just the competitive nature of boxing. Even like I said, I know you've seen in the past. Even with Shakur, he said it. Me and Shakur are real good friends. But even he said it's just business. But that doesn't mean that we have to go out there and bash each other, or downplay this one's talent or skill. No, I mean it's just good for the sport. I mean, I look at it like the NBA. Jordan and Kobe were good friends, and when they got in the court together, they competed. They competed, but it never came down to where they hated each other and like that. No, it's just a mutual respect at the end of the day.
Y'all can punch each other dead in the mask.
And then go out there and then go out the next hour to the club or something and go hang out.
I love that. Wait, to my community, that's what you guys don't understand. We as fans, we tend to take this too emotionally. You warriors out there, y'all bang it out, y'all fight, y'all handle yourselves in the ring like men, like businessmen, and then it's on to the next one.
That's it. And even like when even though like say, we look at the Errol Spence and Bud Crawford situation, they're very competitive. I love them both. Like I said, both of them are my brothers, but people like you just pointed out, they get too emotionally invested in it. But to them, it's just two guys who want to compete to see who's the best of the division. Right. It's nothing personal. They're not trying to hit below the belt. Of course they'll throw little jabs here and there. That's just the competitive nature. But at the same time, they're athletes. They're competitors. But the fans take it a lot more personal.
You're not lying
than
brother.
The fighters.
You're not
crazy.
lying.
It's crazy.
You're not lying. Now, and I want to say this. I've analyzed, I've gave my analysis on those two guys before. And I just want to ask you, because like I said, me as an analyst, I have not done in the ring anything close to what you guys have done. I will always look at you as saying, okay, this guy knows the truth. I'm just talking at this point, right. But you guys been in there. So what I said about Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, and you've touched gloves with them, on your own. Right. I said that when people say that Terrence Crawford is a more skilled fighter, I say, if so, not by much than Errol Spence. And when people say Errol Spence is a tank and a dog, I say, if so, not by much than Terrence Bud Crawford. I've seen Terrence Bud Crawford outdog guys all through his welterweight. I mean, knocking everybody out. It's not like he just slicking and moving the whole time, knocking out Kell Brook. I know he had that going toe-to-toe with Machine, and I think what he was trying to do was make it exciting, but he stopped him. He's stopping everybody. Errol Spence is showing that he can outbox Mikey Garcia, just whitewash Danny Garcia. What do you think about that analysis, the fact that they both can box and they both can tank?
I think the both of them have that dog in them. Like just going back to the Olympic Training Center. Now this is back in 2012. I've seen Errol Spence, dog walk guys heavier than him in that facility, because wow. He had that hunger, he had that ambition, he had that drive. Like even then, he wanted to prove and make his name known out there as an amateur. And even now with Bud, like I was just in the gym with Bud yesterday. The guy can come off the streets, literally could come off the streets and not train for like a month or two and still be able to outperform anybody in that gym. And that just goes to show you, his work ethic and his mentality. Like, I mean, I know as he's human at the same time. So I know there's times where his body is hurting, but his mind won't let him give it up. And I believe Errol is the same way in his own right. So that fight is probably one of the best fights you could possibly make in boxing, because these are two guys who are really strong mentally, And you also got to look at look where Errol came from just in the past year. A lot of people thought his career would never be the same. And, you know, I'm just glad to see that my brother not only is able to fight again, but he's here with his family. You know, he has children now. So I look at stuff like that, like the more important things in life. So, and same thing. And then like with Bud, you know, sitting down with Bud, you know, we have our conversations, and he always points out to me that despite whatever he has gained in his career, family is the most important thing that you can value in life at the end of the day, because he said the same thing. It can all be over in the blink of an eye, but you would always have that family to fall back on.
100%. That's my man's. And I'm going to tell you something that you just did. You did it without me. So I'm going to bring you back. You are so humble, Jamel. You detracted away from yourself back to giving love to those guys. We're going to come back to celebrating you here. We're coming back to you because it's you who have your fight February 27th. And I'm going to say this about your future, what's coming up next. And you brought up you training with Terrence Bud Crawford just yesterday, just seeing him yesterday. And you brought up Shakur Stevenson. I heard Terrence Bud Crawford and Shakur Stevenson mixing it up. And, you know, he's helping him as well get prepared.
Right.
Where are you going to go? I mean, are you going to wait for Shakur to come up? Are you going to try to become undisputed? See what's going on? What's that, February 20th between Valdez and Burchell? Are you going to do that? Or are you going to grab your WBO ticket and say, hey, Teofimo Lopez, what's going on? I know you don't look past Carl Frampton, please. He's too good.
Like anyone knows me, I don't never look past any fight, but like you just put out, I'm in a great space though. You know, with a victory over Carl Frampton, I'm still in a great space, and I have, you know, many options many roads I can take. I think it all comes down to which way everyone at that point in time intrigues me the most. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely I want what Carl Frampton did. I want to be a unified champion. At the same time, I want to be 2-divisional world champion as well. So there's always great things. And me and my team, we always have these conversations each and every day. But I can't call it right now, because right now I'm excited just to be in this fight. Right. I mean, because this is a big moment in my career for me. So I gotta look at that first. But there's definitely you put it. There's so many options in so many ways I can go after this fight. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy it every day leading up to this fight. And then, like I said, I'll be back on your show and we'll talk about it again after.
Right. Right. Well. Just to, I'm going to ask like maybe 1 or 2 more questions. But
okay,
I want to talk about this fight in particular. Like you said, just dialing into this fight. Look, when you see what Gervonta Tank Davis did to Leo Santa Cruz, which myself, I know I've watched you say, hey, I don't think Leo Santa Cruz have much of a chance against Tank Davis at 135. Leo Santa Cruz, that he's a bad boy. I was thinking he was going to absorb a lot of shots. I was thinking he's more experienced than Tank. And then boom! Okay, Tank showed why.
I thought too that he was going to like you mentioned. I thought he was going to weather the storm in the early going, because the experience would kick in during the later rounds. Because we've seen like fights with how Tank with the Gamboa situation. So I know they was looking at that. So they were probably just figuring that if we get to these early rounds, maybe we have a bigger shot down the road. But
that's exactly what they were doing.
Tank is a tank. It's a tank.
Now, but after that performance, people may just be if you're going to beat Carl Frampton, they're like, hey, you have to knock this guy out. We know you're bigger than Carl Frampton. Do you feel a bit of a pressure there for you to be like, hey, look, man, you don't belong here. Go night-night.
You know what? When you start thinking like that as a fighter, at least, sometimes you put too much pressure on you where you go in the ring making mistakes, because you're looking for one thing. You're looking for one thing, but like I have a great team with me. Brian McIntyre, Red Spikes, Esau Dieguez, and Bud Crawford is there with me all the time, like to the point where Bud gets on my nerves, but he's there. But like I said, when you have all that experience with you go in there with a clear mind, because you've covered everything you needed to do in camp. So for me, it's no pressure. If anything, I think probably more pressure on him, because he's the one out here trying to push for history. So he has a lot
in London.
Yeah, he has a lot riding on this. Me, I'm just going in there and just going to work and doing my job. And since I've been with my new team, I've been winning and been winning big. They got me to a world title. So it's just another. I'm not gonna say another day in the office because this is a huge moment for me. But at the same time, I'm not going in there thinking like, oh, I gotta do this, or I gotta just take it like we always say here. We gotta take it one round at a time, and we make the adjustments as we go along. If we see mistakes, we take advantage of them.
Now, great point. Excellent point. Because I'm gonna tell you who that reminds me of. I remember Anthony AJ Joshua coming over in the States, right? Madison Square Garden, fight Andy Ruiz. Who? People are like, who? I knew who he was, but everybody. Right. So he hurts him for a quick second. Let me be sensational, especially with Deontay Bronzebomber, what he did to Dominic Brazil. Let me go ahead and be sensational. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's doing, but I know he felt some pressure to make sure he just make a mark here in the States.
Yeah, because you know how, especially like with I'm glad you said that because even though the UK has that huge atmosphere, like when guys back in there, like Lennox Lewis and them, they always felt they had to make their mark in the States. And I'm pretty sure Joshua had that same type of experience, effect on his mindset when he fought Ruiz. So he wanted to come to the States and make a huge mark, and especially in Madison Square Garden. You know, that's the mecca of boxing. So of course, so with that being said, he probably was looking a bit ahead of you, like I said, because Ruiz, we knew about him, but some people just just thought, okay, this is just.
And don't forget the eyeball test. He didn't look like the most in shape individual in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, Anthony should get this guy out of here. But things happen. But I give Joshua credit as a real champion. He bounced back. Even the great Lennox Lewis had his times when he
McCall, Rockman.
Yeah, Rock, but he got those victories back, and it didn't put a dent in Lennox's career. Lennox is still probably known as one of the best heavyweights of all time. So, like I said, that's another thing people think got to get over in today's environment. That whole undefeated thing, and you're not gonna. We've seen fighters in the past who lost their O and still went on to do great things for their career.
And forget O. I really, it makes you, once you get your ass beat, it makes you a better fighter. Anthony Joshua, what he did that second fight, good. You won, you put an extra little wrinkle in your cap, and it took that to do it.
Drawing board, you even see he trimmed down from all the muscle. He got, he wanted to be more elusive and more effective, and he boxed. He wasn't going in it as Anthony Joshua, the guy that was knocking everyone out. No, Anthony was taking it one round at a time. He boxed, he fought his fight. He controlled the rhythm, he controlled the pace, and then he got all his belts back. And now look where is he at now. Now they're talking about him fighting Tyson Fury for a huge, undisputed matchup in UK history. And
guess what? Now I'm assessing that fight, and I'm saying that they're closer. Why? Because Anthony Joshua don't look as robotic. Now I see him against Pulev. You know what I mean? I see what he did that second fight against Andy Ruiz, and I'm saying, okay, now he has something else. He's still
growing. He's still growing.
Yep, absolutely. This was an exciting conversation, and I can talk to you all day.
We'll do more. We'll do more in the future.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to end with this. This is just a little fun thing to do. I'm going to name a guy or four, and you just tell me, what you think of them. All right. Shakur Stevenson.
Like I said, a future star. I definitely believe he'll be on a pound-for-pound listing long before he's even 30. Before he's 30, because like I said, he's on a fast track. I mean, look, he's one of his. We was in an era at one point in time where it took about 20 something fights for just to even crack a world title, but he's done it in 14, 15 fights or so. Same thing with guys like Teofimo Lopez. So this new generation, they're really trying to make their stamp early and fresh.
Okay, how about Teofimo Lopez?
Teo's my guy. That's my guy, man. I mean, you got to, despite what you see the confusion people will say with the whole thing with the WBC and all that mess. But I feel like it's like the old saying with Ric Flair. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man, and he beat the man. Despite what anybody will say, he beat the man.
That's how I feel.
And he looked good doing it. So you got to give guys like Teofimo his respect. He deserves everything that he has today, despite what people may say about him, or what he may say on social media. He's still a tremendous athlete, and like I said, I'm looking forward to watching him as a fan in the near future as well.
Two more names: Burchell.
Oh, my good buddy Burchell. Like I know we've had our share of words, but that's just me, of course, just being competitive because I want to test myself against respectfully the best, and I give him that because he is number one in the ring rankings. I give him that. So it was never a thing like I felt that, oh, he's a bum. Like, no, I came at him because he was the best. He is the best right now in the division. But I think this Ballas fight could possibly be his last fight at the weight, because he's a big guy also.
Yeah, he a big kid.
He a big guy also too. So
he's a big kid.
I mean, like I said, but like I said, I wish him and Oscar Valdez, the best of luck. I hope they both come out fine after it, because it's going to be a war. We all know it's going to be a war.
Yeah. Well, that's why you want to see it.
I hope they come out, healthy and fresh. But I wish Miguel Berchel all the success in the world.
All right, last name. Carl Frampton.
Oh, Carl Frampton, he's always gonna have my respect. Like I said, because he could have with his name, he could have taken a different path. He could have taken a way different path. He could have said, I've done my share. I'm moving on to other things. But I respect him. I always been a fan of Carl. So at the end of the day, for me, it's business. But I definitely plan on getting my hand raised, and when that bell rings, all the nice guy.
Oh hell yeah!
So that's on hold. We can put that on hold for now. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Carl's he's a good guy. He never came out and said anything crazy about me, and I give him that same respect.
100%. My man, the WBO junior lightweight champion, Jamel Herring, man. Semper Fi, man. Much love to you. Now, you have February 27th. We can't wait to see you there. One of the biggest fights there is. And I really do. And I can't wait for you to come back. I really think you should be one of the more celebrated fighters, at least in the States. And I'm going to do my best to just keep pushing you, brother, because I truly
appreciate that. That's why I have good friends like Julie Goldsticker, who helps me get my
100.
my word out there, and also keeps me on the right track, because I do dramatic characters sometimes on social media, and I get that phone call from her like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
read it.
My man, ShowBizz, don't. I'm out. Huh.
Yeah,